Hey guys, if you've been on the fence about whether you should use a rent-to-own option to buy a house or whether you should buy it with cash or a conventional mortgage like most people do, then this is the video for you. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you a few different reasons why rent-to-own, or sometimes called lease option homes, might actually be better than just buying a house up front with cash or with a normal conventional FHA, VA, USDA mortgage loan. So with that, guys, let's just jump right into it. We're going to talk about what lease options or rent-to-own options are. We're going to talk about who might get one, why they might get one, and then we're going to go through all of the different reasons about why rent-to-own might actually be better for you than just buying a home outright. And before we get started, guys, make sure you go down to the comment section and comment about how you came across rent-to-own and why it's interesting to you, because rent-to-own and lease options are really not that commonplace in the market, at least not in Las Vegas. So I'm always curious as to why people are interested in it and how they even came across the idea of doing that. Hi guys, my name is Tom, if I haven't introduced myself already. I help people move to Las Vegas, and I talk about what it's really like to live here in the Las Vegas Valley. So if that's interesting to you, please subscribe, like this video, and make sure you hit that notification bell. With that, guys, let's jump right into it. So a lease option, or sometimes called rent-to-own house, is where you pay an options fee upfront, a non-refundable options fee that basically purchases you or gives you the guaranteed right of first refusal within a period of time. Say it's 3 years. So you're going to pay, maybe it's $1,000 upfront to buy that first right of refusal, and that is going to give you and you alone the right to purchase that property within the time period that is stipulated in the contract. And going with that, you're going to sign a separate agreement that you basically rent out that property for that period of time, or maybe it's longer, maybe it's shorter. It's all dependent on what the seller wants to do, what you want to do, and what kind of contract that you want to sign. So this is not that common of a contract because it is a little bit more risk to the seller since they're tying up the home for a longer period of time. So it is considered seller financing, at least in my eyes it is. And like I said, it's a little bit rarer of a contract, a little bit harder to find. But if you're looking for it, make sure you tell your realtor or whoever you're working with to specifically look for lease option or rent-to-own option houses. And then they'll be able to find you some options there. So who would be interested in this? Anyone who has a lot of bad debt, who can't qualify for a mortgage loan, who can't afford to pay cash for a home, who can't afford a down payment, who can't get a mortgage for a different reason. All of these different reasons make rent-to-own definitely a better option for those people who are struggling to get into a home with a mortgage or with cash. But not everybody who is struggling to purchase a home would use this option. There are other reasons why you might want to use this rent-to-own or lease option, and that's what we're going to talk about next. So the first reason we're going to talk about, and excuse me, I have some notes down here, so you'll probably see me look at them. The first thing we're going to talk about is you get to experience the area. Corey, shush. You get to experience the area before you actually make that purchase. And so what I mean by that is, if you say you're moving to Las Vegas or any city, you're brand new there, you purchase a home, you've never lived in this city before, you certainly never lived in that neighborhood before, you can't be 100% sure that it's the neighborhood for you, that it's the perfect school zone for your kids, and that it meets really all of your criteria, because you've never lived there before. You're just moving in and you're kind of hoping for the best. Even if it was the right price, even if you liked the house, even if the neighborhood seemed nice, even if the schools seemed nice, you can't be sure without living there. That's one really great thing about this rent-to-own or lease option, is you get to live in a house for X period of time, whatever time you agree to, and you get to really see what the area looks like, what the market's like, what the economy's like, the jobs, all this different stuff. You really get to test the waters. And then after a year, if you like it, you can exercise your option, or maybe it takes you 3 years, or maybe it takes you, until the last day of your options contract to decide that you want to live there. And then you can exercise that option and go from there. But it helps you tie up the house so that it's available to you and you alone while you decide if you really like the area. If you buy a house conventionally, then you don't get that availability unless you live in a hotel or Airbnb for a certain period of time and then purchase the home, which by then the home you wanted might have been off the market. So tying up the home early, living in it while you're renting in it, and then purchasing when you're sure that it's the house for you and the neighborhood for you, definitely is an advantage, I think, to this system. Next thing we're going to talk about, guys, is basically experiencing a home before you buy. And this is exactly what we talked about, but it's specific to the house. You might think the house fits all your needs, but maybe you have a new kid, or like my wife and I, we had a set of twins. We didn't think we were going to have twins, and we ended up having to move because of it. So things happen, life changes. If you buy a house and you think it's the right house for you at that time, and maybe it really is the right house for you at that time, but then something changes, you're still stuck with that house. You have to sell it and go through that whole process. But if you're using a rent-to-own option, then you can always just not exercise your right to purchase the house or get out of the contract however you can, depending on how you read the contract, and then you can go buy the home that is actually going to work better for you. So that's a great example of why this rent-to-own option might be better. Next, you're not stuck with a property if the market conditions change. So for instance, right now in Las Vegas, we're in a strong seller's market. If those market conditions were to change, or housing prices were to take a huge dive towards zero, or a huge jump up towards $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 median home price, that could be good, or that could be really bad for you if you purchase a home. So if you're owning a home and the price, just absolutely starts going down, then that's obviously bad for you because you own that house and your house value is dropping, and it might cause you to be underwater on your house, which means that you owe more on the house than it's worth. But if you're doing this option, then you don't actually own the home yet, so you can just wait out until the contract expires, and then you can go look at a different area or a different home or whatever the case may be. So that's another great example. If market conditions change, you're not tied to that house. Next example, guys, you're not stuck if you lose your job, or maybe you're in the military and you're PCSing somewhere else, you get deployed, something like that, guys. If that happens and you own your house, let's take the lose your job, for example. If you own the house and then you lose your job, well, you're still saddled with that loan. You still have to make payments. You still have to make due. Otherwise, the house can be foreclosed upon and you can be kicked out. But if it's just a rental, then the consequences are much less severe, and certainly you're going to owe a lot less money in a rental than you would if you were purchasing the home with a mortgage. So that's another great reason, guys. If you're worried about job security, if you think you're going to be moving jobs or moving areas, then the rent-to-own option is much better than just purchasing a home and crossing your fingers that everything's going to be fine, that your job will be there, and that you won't be moving different cities. One of the last reasons, guys, is that you get the ability to slowly put capital down on a house while you are the only one that has the option to buy it. And what I mean by that is, so I talked about the non-refundable option fee up front. So say it's a $100,000 home that you want to purchase. You put a $10,000 non-refundable options fee up front. That's what you pay to the seller. So now you only have to pay $90,000 for that house some point during the contract. If you say you want to pay $100 or $200 a month extra towards the principal of that house, and that's what you negotiated in the contract, say it's $200 every single year you're in that contract, then you're going to be paying $2,400 a month additional against that $90,000. So by the time you're done with that contract, you could owe, maybe $85,000 or $80,000 on the house instead of $100,000. Like if you were just going to buy the house on day one and you wanted to put $20,000 down, and you have to come up with $20,000 in order to fund the purchase, get the mortgage loan going, all that sort of thing. But a rent to own allows you to slowly chip away at that principal, and then if you decide that you want to purchase the property, you're going to end up having to put less cash up front, or less cash into the deal in one big lump sum than you would have if you wanted to purchase the property for $100,000 with a conventional mortgage or just going cash. So that's another great example. So for people who maybe don't make that much or really need to stagger their finances over a long period of time, this could be a great option. And like I said earlier, you're tying up the house. So if you find a house that you absolutely love, but you can't purchase it, or you're not ready to purchase it yet, then this is a great option for you to lock it in. No one else is going to be able to buy it, and you can slowly pay towards that house then buy it when you're finally ready and you finally have the funds in place and your credit's in the right place and that sort of thing. So guys, these were a few different reasons why renting to own a house, or sometimes called lease options, are better or might be better for you in your situation for purchasing a home than just going a normal mortgage or paying in cash. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I really hope it helped you out. Make sure you jump over to my channel. I have another video on rent-to-own and lease option homes here in Las Vegas, kind of talking more about the process, some pitfalls, some other things to look out for. So go check that out. And if you need any help, comments, concerns, questions, maybe I made a mistake in the video, please throw it down in the comments section, or you can reach out to me with all my contact information that's also down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and please stay tuned for more content.